we begin lesson 8 in the Kitzer Likutey Moharan. Re'isi menorah zah. I look and behold a golden candelabra. In Zechariah. Anocha ugenuchi shel ish ha'Yisraeli hi yikara v'oid ki hi shleimus ha'chesronos. Hainu kisheyesh lo chisaron. Ve'ez dara kishemis'aneach ha'ma. Shenechsar lo ha'yidei zeh hu mashlim ha'chesronos. The sighing and the groaning of a Jew are very precious because they entail the completion of whatever is lacking. In other words, when a person lacks something and he sighs over what he lacks, he thereby makes up for that deficiency. And what are we talking about sighing and groaning? We're talking about not someone who's complaining, I don't have this, I don't have that. When a person sighs, like this is oh. Okay, when he's sighing, it's like a form of prayer. It's filling up that gap of that loss. But we're not talking about sighing, growing like to yourself. I feel this, I feel that. We're talking about a sigh and growing, a noise, a feeling to Hashem. This reaction is a form of a prayer, according to Rebbe Nachman, and it fills up that deficiency. Ko ha'chesronos sheyesh la'adam hein b'farnasasa hein b'rius haguf. Kulam ki efshar hashlimam ki im ha'idei hatzadik v'harav ha'emesh nil ve'al elov. Ki shleimus ha'chesronos hi b'ha'idei anacha. Anything that a person lacks, be it livelihood, health, or anything else, cannot be fulfilled except for the attachment of a true tzaddik, to a sage, or attaching oneself to a sage and a rav. The reason for this is that the deficiencies are made up by sighing. Since when a person sighs over what he lacks, he taps into and draws forth the divine breath of life, for which everything was created, and which is the vitality of everything, to make up for the deficiency over what he sighs. However, this breath of life, which can supply what a person is lacking, can be received only from the tzaddik and rav of the generation, who is completely attached to Torah, since the Torah is where the breath of life rests. Mikablin rak me'atzadik harav shemador shedavuk b'toiro shesham ruach chaim b'hainu ayidei iskashrus atzadik. Therefore, a person needs to be connected to the tzaddik, the sage, in order to receive this breath. So the sighing is it says here, it draws divine breath of life. And you feel that with the sighing, and you receive that ability to receive and to complete that emptiness through your connection to the tzaddik and the sage of the generation. We're not talking about a holy man. He's able to give you the completion. V'hamiz nagdim v'harashayim v'acholkim al tzaddik hamitim heim v'kablin ruach chaim. Shelohem me'arav diklipa ki yesh rav diklipa v'sitra achara k'neged harav dusha ki ezel uma zeh asash elokim kveles. The opponents of wicked people who set themselves against the true tzaddikim and the true sages receive their breath of life from the rav of the forces of evil. For there indeed exists a rav of the forces of impurity on the other side, in contraposition to the rav of holiness. Since Hashem created everything with its counterbalanced opposite. Also, Chazeh v'nema v'od Messiah Gufei v'nim Nishmasei Shehanechozim bo v'alikein ha'rashayim v'acholkim al tzadikim v'chayehem ki ruim esim ki ein lahem ruach chaim hamiti dusha shenim mashach v'chaydei tzadikei emes daiko. Therefore these wicked people that are strong in their time, since the breath of life that is drawn from the raw with force of impurity is like a raging storm wind, which is also powerful in this time, but for real, in the end it perishes in its loss, destroying both physically and spiritually all those who take hold of it. Therefore the wicked people and those who oppose it as the sages are said to be dead even while they're still alive, it says in Brachos, for they do not have the true and holy breath of life which true tzaddikim alone are able to supply. So just like you have sages who are in holiness, that draw a person close to Hashem, so you have an opposite. You have people that the whole purpose of being a sage is only for honor and for money. And so these people draw you further from Hashem, and they are going to fill this lack with impurities. Whereas a true tzaddik, a holy sage, whose whole purpose is lishma, for the sake of just because he cares about people. He wants to draw them close to God, so he's going to help you with that sigh. When you sigh, he can elevate that by being in his presence, by getting his, I think you have to sigh in his presence, but being around that person in general. And then sighing to Hashem, then this is elevated and it fills that gap. It gives you that ruach chaim, the good ruach, the good breath. You know, a person, they feel the emptiness in their heart and they need to express it somehow, but instead they're taking it inside. They feel just lacking. And a simple solution the Rebbe is saying here to sigh to Hashem, say, "Oi, Hashem, oi." As simple as something like that is, when you're mamish at the end of the world and you feel so low, just to go and call to Hashem, even with a sigh, you can't even say a word. This is amazing. And as long as you are filled with good people in your life, true sages, that this is going to close up this gap. הצייג אמיתי מקפר והנויס עידי הנוחל שעידי זה ממשיכים ממנו הרוח חיים להשלים והחיסורון כמו שכתוב איש חכם יקפרנו ושלי. When a person sighs, the true tzaddik expiates his sins, he gets rid of the sins. And because by sighing, the person draws forth from the tzaddik the breath of life, which makes up deficiencies, sins being the greatest possible kind of deficiency. That's when the wise man expiates. Asarlis, Gorois, Yershayim, Bakolkim, Kiim, Mishu, Tzadi, Gomor, Dahainu, Kavar, Ivri, Vegeresh, Megamre, Al Korah, Shukol, Harboy, Yisoido, Shahim, Kalau, Hamidois, Asher, Batuach, Shalo, Yora, Lo, Shu, Mikshol, Aber Tzadi, Kazev, Vachohan, Nilvim, Elav Haim Daika Yecholim His Goro is Berashoyim. It is forbidden for anyone to accept a perfect tzaddik sage to challenge the wicked and the opponent. Such a tzaddik must be a person who has already completely separated out and expelled all bad from himself, out of the four elements which subsume all the various character traits, until he is certain that he will not stumble into transgression. Only a tzaddik like this and the people who are attached to him can provoke the wicked. Avo kol mi shelo bitel hara, legarme v'hara. Adayim b'koyach af she'ein lo shum avera. Eiz et tzadik gamor v'asur lo liz garos v'rashayim. Kiyuchol hazik lo chas v'shom v'arichas v'ruach shalahem. Shmekablim meha sitra achar shehu gadol b'shaso v'rachmana litzlan. But anyone who has not completely nullified the bad in himself, and though he does not commit any actual transgressions, the possibility of his doing so still exists, is not a perfect tzaddik, and it's forbidden for him to challenge the wicked. The reason for this is that such a person can be harmed, God forbid, by a deep breath taken by the wicked, which they draw from the other side, and which for a time is extremely powerful. May Hashem save us. But a perfect tzaddik, sage, can lower himself into the channel through which the wicked receive the breath of life. He can break it and subdue it. and bring about their total demise. So Rebbe Nachman is saying here that you be careful when you're dealing with the wicked. People here have to be very careful, because you can't say that things don't affect you when you are around something wicked. Even though you may not change the idea that you know Hashem is one, it can still affect your soul, where you start to have impure thoughts, and you are, and this other side wants to cling to a person. So only a perfect tzaddik can really go down low to go and start up a fight with the wicked. He's saying start arguments to really try to break that klipa and fix them. Hapsak, halacha, umegarshim, umevatlin, hara mikol harba, yisod shehein kolal kol midah shezeh ikar tikun adam, yilavorer, hapsak, halacha v'yidei tefillah. The way to separate out the good from the bad in oneself is through the study of Torah and prayer. More specifically, by studying the codes, the halacha, and clarifying the law. A person separates and sifts out the good from the bad. He also expels and nullifies the evil in himself from all the four elements, which subsume all the various character traits. This is the main way for a person to perfect himself. But the way to merit the intellect necessary to clarify the law is through prayer. Furthermore, when a person prays for something, even though his request has been fulfilled as a result of prayer, the thing which he has asked for exists only in potential. Through Torah study, his request is completed and goes from potential to actual. In this way, his will is then accomplished and his request fulfilled, and he will merit to bring about the total demise of the enemies and opponents. So in order to separate from good from bad in oneself, and also to be able to expel the evil from people that might be around you, is through the study of halacha, the code of Jewish law. This clarifies a person. He's able to then separate between good and bad, what's true and what's false. And it fixes the four elements in the person. We're created from the four elements: fire, water, air, and earth. And each of these characteristics has both good midos, good character traits, and bad character traits that attach a person that attach to a person. And you can see these character traits through a person's name, what their elements are made up of, which is in my sefer, my book coming out this year. And this is fixed through the study of halacha, but mainly is fixed through prayer. When a person prays, he's separating between that good and the bad. Prayer makes for potential, for something good to happen. You want something in life, you pray, and it gets to potential, where it can actually come to existence. And once you study Torah, that takes that prayer and it puts it and completes the rest of the way. And then that thing that you need can come down in fullness and in realness in your life. Mayan chachmas haTorah yotze matfila yidei ikar berur pesak halacha zoichin rak yidei tefila v'nechsha ki'ilu hachidesh es ha'adam zoich levorer hatoy me'ara shebechol arba yisoida shehu tikun hakol yidei zeh zoich lehamshil hachokim adei ores. The wellsprings of Torah wisdom emanate from prayer. Therefore, the only way to merit to clarify the law, the halacha, is through prayer. When a person studies in this manner, it is considered as if he created the world anew. Furthermore, he merits to sift the good from the bad in all the four elements, which effectively constitutes the rectification of everything. He is then able to completely subdue the opponents. So a person studies in such a way where he's praying to God for the world, for the things he lacks, to come close to God. After he's studying halacha, this makes him a complete person, and he's able to fix the elements in himself and in the world, and then he's able to rise above opponents and through difficulties, through through the prayer. Tzitzis heim b'chinas ruach chaim kedusha. V'al yodam mashlimim kach esroinu izaydi anacha umachnihin aruach chaim diklipa ruach sara ruach hatuma u'megarshim hara min hatoyim mikol midois v'al yidei zeh machnisnim acholkim harashayim v'mashpilim oisam adei oretz. Tzitzis embodies the concept of the holy breath of life. With the mitzvah tzitzis, a person can make up for all that he lacks by sighing. He also subdues the breath of life, of the forces of impurities, the raging storm, and the breath of spiritual pollution expels bad from the good, and all the character traits, the midos. In turn, he can overcome the opponents and the wicked and subdue them completely. Right through the mitzvah tzitzis, you get holy breath and life. This brings you life. You're able to then subdue the forces of impurity and all the things that you're lacking through the tzitzis. Atzadik shomea kol nachois shahadvukim bo kimenu tosois chayim chachak hu ish asher ruach bo b'midbar k'mo she'amru chakmeinu zichrono livracha she'yodea haloich neged rucho shel kol echad ve'echad u'mamshich u'mashlim u'chayim shel kol echad ve'echad. The tzaddik, the sage, hears the sighs of all those who are attached to him, since from him life goes out to every one of them. He's a man who possesses breath, ruach, b'midbar, by whom our sages of blessed memory taught. He knows how to approach each person according to his own spirit. Ruach, it says in Rashi and b'midbar. In other words, he supplies and makes up for what is lacking in the breath of life to each and every one of them. So that completes the lesson. So we spoke about the importance of sighing, making that groan to Hashem and saying, "Oi, oi," not a way of complaining, but just as a way of feeling. When you feel that lack, you don't know what to do. So sigh to Hashem, say, "Oi, vey, tata." The person sighs, that lack is filled. But even more so through a person's connection to the sages, the holy sages. The sage is able to go and give a person the breath of life. The tzitzis give a person the breath of life. And you know, if you don't understand this, the idea that the sage can give you life, and maybe you never met someone holy enough, maybe, who really cared, was completely mysterious nefesh, a sage who completely, his entire life is only to serve God and to do kindness to others. But this person, he can fill that gap, and just by being attached to him, just by being attached to the sage in your life, it makes it so that when you do sigh, and if you can attach to a living sage, you can attach to Moses, you can attach to Rebbe Nachman, and think about the tzaddik, and through this, you're going to feel completeness. So even if you don't get the object that you need, and we learned that by praying and then studying Torah, then praying makes something come to the possibility where it can actually come to fruition. And then when you study Torah, then it's complete, and you can then get in physical what you need. But if you're lacking something, you feel pain, and you feel alone, and your heart aches, if you just go and you sigh to Hashem, this can be enough to fill in that gap, to help you to feel complete, to no longer live in a life of pain and suffering. And so it's a wonderful teaching here that to know that if you can't speak and you don't know what to say, you don't have to say anything at all. You can just look up to heaven with a trueness, and that itself is prayer. May Hashem answer the prayers of Israel and fill the lacks, the sufferings we feel with His presence, with the Holy Shekhinah. Thank you.